I was raised up in the church, and I got myself into a lot of trouble when I was a kid, and I'll just break it down for you. I am a mama, and I was a single teenage mama, and I will give you the count. I have 3 amazing children, and they all have different dads, which is a very, very sensitive situation when you stand in front of the church, and that is the witness that you have. I've been through domestic violence. I've been through the ringer, big time. But what I know is that when God gave me my promise, I was 13 years old, and God said to me, Jeremiah 1:5, He said, before I knew you, before you were placed in the womb of your mother, I knew you, I called you, and I set you apart to be a prophet to the nation. And I stood on that promise. Even when I was messing up, I knew God's promise was still going to be there. I'm messing up. And I hate God right now because I'm messing up. This is where I was at in my life. I hated God. I cursed Him. And I rejected Him. I fought with my mama while she stood in faith, saying every day, me and my household shall serve the Lord. And I told my mom one day, I said, you're going to stand before God and you're going to call Him a liar, because I'm going to die without Jesus. And my mama said, you know what, little girl? I don't believe that, because my God is faithful. And preached it like it was no other message in the world. My God is faithful. And my mom prayed for me while I rejected the Lord for 15 years. And I cursed Him in front of her. I disrespected her. I disrespected God. But deep down inside, I knew that even though the church folks felt that I missed my purpose, I knew better, and that God still had something for me. I didn't know what it was. I knew it wasn't children's ministry like I thought. He said, a prophet to the nations. I thought, okay, God, you're going to send me all the way across the world. But you can't do that when you're 17 and you got a baby on your hip. So I thought, well, you know what? Maybe I didn't get that promise. Maybe that promise was mistaken. Maybe I'm not going to travel the world. Maybe I'm not going to be a missionary. Maybe I just missed it. I screwed up so bad. Maybe I just missed it. No way. Because my Bible says that He is faithful to complete the good work that He began in me to the day of His return. And I knew that whenever the time came that I came back to God, I was arguing with myself, telling myself I'm not going to do it right. But I knew someday I would come home. And when I did, it was 2011, and my women's ministry was birthed the month before I came back to the Lord. And much like my sister who just shared, I just wanted a place to belong, and the church was not it. But I knew that I was falling in love with Jesus. And I didn't feel like the church was going to accept me the way that I was. I'm tattooed, I'm an angry girl, I've lived through quite a bit of stuff that makes you real mad once in a while. And so I had a lot to deal with. And I found myself at a women's retreat because of the faithfulness and the obedience of an amazing woman of God who would not take no for an answer. And she made it very clear, God has an appointment with you. And you're going to that appointment. And you don't drive, so I'll come get you. And you can't pay for it, so I'll pay for it. And I'm going to drive you up there, and I'm not going to let you go, because Jesus has an appointment with you. And it took all of about 24 hours at that retreat before I found myself at an altar at the foot of the cross, and I said, God, I will never leave this place until I don't hate, until I can walk in love, until the time comes that I can stand boldly for you. I'm going to fight right here at this altar. If it takes me all weekend, I'm not moving from this place. It took me a half an hour. And I stood up and I turned around and I hugged the face of the most beautiful black woman I've ever seen in my life. And that was a huge thing, coming out of a redneck family, coming from biker lifestyle, coming from craziness in the middle of Del Paso Heights. I stood up and I turned around and I knew God did something so irreversible I would never go back. Jesus. I met Him at an appointment that He had for me. This weekend, there is an appointment for you. Today, this is an appointment for some of you, because today God is going to do something so irreversible in your life that you are never, ever going to be the same. And I give God all the glory. I did not miss my purpose. What God did was He allowed me to go through a season where He was able to let me experience what He needed for my testimony to be. And then He put me perfectly positioned in a place to share that testimony. Because in Revelations it says we overcome the enemy by the word of our testimony and by the blood of the Lamb. So I stand with that testimony. I share that testimony. My ministry and my life is built upon that testimony. And I promise you, if you will simply just stand in faith and you will give Him your all and you will fight for it, He is going to meet you in that place, and He is going to give you every bit of purpose that He intended for you when He placed you in the womb of your mother. Amen. In